ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ ಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಶೇಷವಾದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಗೌರವವನ್ನು ತಂದುಕೊಂಡಂಥ ಜ್ಞಾನಪೀಠ ಪುರಸ್ಕೃತರು ಹಿರಿಯರಾಗಿರುವಂಥ ಅನಂತಮೂರ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಆ ಜ್ಞಾನಪೀಠ ಪುರಸ್ಕೃತರಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಮೇರು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಯು.ಆರ್. ಅನಂತಮೂರ್ತಿ ಅವರು ಅವರನ್ನು ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ರಾಜ್ಯ ತುಂಬ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡಂತಾಗಿದೆ. ಅವರ ಸಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ನುಂಗಲಾರದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸುತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಅವರ ಆತ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಶಾಂತಿ ಸಿಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ದೇವರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
In fact, a host of celebrities, VIPs, basically ministers, social activists, writers, theatre personalities, all have reached Ravindra Kalakshetra to pay their last respects to the mortal remains of one of Karnataka's and also India's great, U.R. Ananthamurthy, who passed away last evening. In fact, U.R. Ananthamurthy grew up a Gandhian socialist, read English literature at the University of Mysore and earned his doctorate from the University of Birmingham in England. His dissertation was on fiction and the rise of fascism in Europe in the 1930s. The subject would come to haunt him later in life in a different context and in his home country. Well, from on this, I'm joined by my colleague Deepak. Deepak, we see a lot of people coming over there, a lot of VIPs, and can you give us an update on what exactly is happening now?
Now the crowd has reduced. The VIPs, yes, of course, they are coming in from a different entry, but for the common folk, the entry which was there now, that line has reduced considerably, Nolan, over the last 15 minutes because they have briskly let a lot of people inside because they were waiting in line for about an hour and a half. So they didn't want them to wait longer, so they did move that line a little faster. So that line, as of now, has almost reached to half of what it was earlier. So we can expect that the common folk right now, that particular queue getting over in the next half an hour or so. So we have to wait and watch if they will wait with the Muslim remains here, or will they decide to probably prepone
Right. Right, Deepak, I'm going to place you on hold there for a moment. We'll get back to Deepak in some time. But my colleague Deepak, who's right there outside the Ravindra Kalakshetra, telling us that the number of people has actually dropped. But a steady stream of VIPs still coming over there to pay their last respects. You can see their BJP leaders over there, minister, MPs, MLAs, local corporators, all present. Now we must know that he never had a good relationship with members from the BJP or the Sangh Parivar, but that has not stopped them from actually coming over here to pay their last respects to an individual who was known as not just Karnataka's but also India's great. He was a Jnanapith awardee and also a very renowned Kannada writer and critic. While his work Samskara was first published in Kannada in 1966, later made into a film, sealed his reputation. Bharatipura, published in English in 2010, was also shortlisted for the DSC Prize for South Asian Literature in 2012. He was awarded with the Jnanapith Award in 1994 and the Padma Bhushan in 1998. Now, after returning to India from the UK, Ananthamurthy joined the English department of the University of Mysore in 1970. Generations of students remember him as an aspiring teacher. Many times he had named Yoga Narasimhan, the headmaster of his high school, as an important intellectual influence on his life. It was from him that U.R. Ananthamurthy read Shakespeare, the writings of Jawaharlal Nehru and of Indian freedom fighters. Now, Ananthamurthy is also considered one of the pioneers of the new movement in the Kannada literary world. His most famous literary work is, of course, Samskara, which was made into a film. That was also considered a pioneering venture in parallel cinema movement in Kannada. He's also written 5 novels, 1 play, 8 short story collections, 3 collections of poetry and 8 more of essays. This works translated into Indian, and European languages. In his several decades of literary life, he has won the Padma Bhushan. This was in 1998, the Jnanapith Award in 1994, and the State Rajyotsava Award in 1984. Now, his nomination for the 2013 Man Booker International Prize brought him to the attention of a Western audience. He was also the Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi University in Kerala during the late 1980s. Now, U.R. Ananthamurthy had touched the hearts of thousands of people through his works. Several fans paid tribute in Davangere, Hassan and also Mandya. In fact, it's not just right here in Bengaluru where his mortal remains have been kept at Ravindra Kalakshetra, where people are paying their last respects. But for those who can't come over here, those places in Davangere, Hassan and Mandya, fans are actually paying tributes to his memory in their own unique ways. Now, a very multifaceted personality, Ananthamurthy had tried to dabble in politics unsuccessfully, contesting the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha polls once. He was known for his socialist leanings. He often quoted controversies for his vociferous anti-BJP, anti-Sangh Parivar stance. Now, a man was brutally murdered in broad daylight right here in the city. The deceased has been identified as 42-year-old Babu Singh. Now, the incident took place near OTC Road in Cottonpet. The police have arrived at the spot and investigations are currently underway under the leadership of Additional Commissioner Law and Order Alok Kumar. Now, 3 people, it is stated, attacked Babu with machetes. The police are now examining the CCTV footage for any clues. Well, as of now, the motive for the murder is still very much unclear. Now, Babu is a financier and the police are also looking into this angle of his creditors and borrowers having to do anything with the murder. In fact, this particular man there, whom you see on the left of your television screen, his picture, he was murdered in broad daylight in the city. The deceased has been identified as 42-year-old Babu Singh. Now, this incident took place near OTC Road in Cottonpet. The police have arrived at the spot and are investigating this particular case under the leadership of Additional Commissioner Law and Order Alok Kumar. Now, it is stated that 3 people attacked Babu with machetes. The police are examining CCTV footage for any clues because the motive for the murder is still very much unclear. Now, a fire broke out at a building in JC Road and 2 fire tenders were rushed to the spot to douse the fire, which broke out at a tarpole building. Now, a short circuit is suspected to have caused the fire. As of now, there are no casualties reported, although materials but lakhs have been gutted in this particular blaze. In fact, it took them almost or more than 2 hours to completely douse the flames. Materials but lakhs have been affected, but however, traffic was not affected while the firefighters went about their work of trying to control this particular fire. Now, India's first indigenously built stealth anti-submarine warfare corvette, INS Kamorta, has been commissioned by Defence Minister Arun Jaitley in Visakhapatnam. It is the first of 4 ASW stealth corvettes designed by the Indian Navy's Directorate of Naval Design. The sophisticated warship is the first Indian naval warship ever built in the country with 90% indigenous content. Now, INS Kamorta was commissioned at Naval Dockyard by Defence Minister Arun Jaitley. He stated, "I am sure INS Kamorta will serve this country effectively for a very long time." Now, INS Kamorta is the first of 4 ASW stealth corvettes designed by the Indian Navy's in-house organisation. It will carry short-range surface-to-air missiles and active towed array decoy system. Now, the Kamorta is also equipped with advanced weapon systems, including heavyweight torpedoes. Sensors integrated in the vessel include advanced bow-mounted sonar and domestic air surveillance radar. Manned by a crew of 13 officers and 173 sailors, it can also carry an integral anti-submarine warfare helicopter. The ship will become an integral element of the Eastern Fleet under the Eastern Naval Command. Well, the Indian Navy's modernization quest under Project 28 to stealthily hunt and destroy lurking enemy submarines got further boosted today with the launch of the first, that is, indigenous anti-submarine warfare, INS Kamorta. With nearly 90% indigenization content aimed to be achieved in the manufacturing of the ship, the efforts made by the Indian Navy and the defence shipyards towards the national goal of indigenization and self-reliance has received a major impetus with this latest ASW corvette launch.